Okay, good afternoon and welcome to another Friday Afternoon Live. I'm Kevin Reid, the editor of Accountancy. I'd like to welcome you to our little show. It's raining here in Piccadilly. It's probably raining where you are. I don't know about you, but it's making me think about going on holiday, which I will be very soon, thankfully. Now, the comedy pub here isn't quite Club Tropicana. It's warm, it's dry, and I've got a cold pint of Peroni with me, so cheers to that. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. What we're here to talk about today is the Accountancy Age Top 50, which we published this week, or published yesterday in fact. It's about 2 to 3 months in the process, in the workings of getting to that point really, so lots of hard work goes on here at Accountancy Age and in the pub. And also with you guys putting together your figures and stats for us, so that's really cool. I guess some really interesting numbers have come out of the survey itself. Fee income is up again, so up to 11.9 billion for the top 50 firms. And kind of what's quite interesting about that is we've actually seen partner numbers fall. So they've dropped slightly over the last couple of years, but they're actually down 1.4% this year. And that percentage change is kind of replicated all the way from the big four all the way down to smaller firms. And, there are kind of probably quite a lot of reasons why that's happening. I think that still going through the combination of the fallout from the financial crisis, lots of restructuring going on within accounting firms at the moment. We're still seeing baby boomers and older practitioners looking to move on. I think there are a lot of partners that are also looking to have their take-home improved after what have been several kind of depressed years, I guess, in terms of partner profits. And so you're seeing firms restructure, use more technology, trying to get partners to go out and deal with clients while having strong technical teams in-house to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And I think as part of that process, we've effectively seen fewer partners, and I think we'd expect that firms' margins have increased. Other interesting stats that we collated this year, we pulled together some numbers around auto-enrolment, asking questions about what firms are doing with auto-enrolment, how they're dealing with their clients. And again, a really, really interesting mix of responses. Lots of small firms saying that, yeah, we're aware auto-enrolment is around the corner for our clients. All the staging dates from end of 2015 through to 2017. But there's a split between those that are actually doing anything about it and those that have actually kind of stepped up to the plate. So lots of firms, it seems, are still playing a bit of a waiting game, haven't formalised structures or processes or gone down that route, while there are another tranche of firms that are working really, really hard and said that the kind of end-to-end solutions in place, working with IFAs, thinking about how they're going to provide restructured payroll services to clients that deal with auto-enrolment as well. So our friends over at Nest, who effectively the government set up pensions, workplace pension scheme, they gave us some comments around that, saying that you guys have really got to step up to the plate and get a wiggle on, I think is the long and short of it really. So yeah, I think a lot of firms saying that they're worried they won't be able to make any money out of auto-enrolment, but any kind of change that affects your clients on the regulatory front, that's what you're there to do, help them through that process. That's where you can help to provide some value, get things automated, and then provide your value-added services off the back of that. So firms that are saying they can't make any money off that, I don't think are being imaginative enough and should get on with it really. Other interesting story that cropped up this week was around NAO report looking at various things that HMRC has been up to this year. As part of that process, they looked at the tax credit fraud outsourcing contract where Synex Concentrix is running a 3-year contract looking at saving £1 billion around tax credit fraud outsourced by HMRC. We wrote a really, really interesting story about that earlier on this year, where we revealed that for 3 months the Concentrix staff were not actually doing any work because their IT systems weren't up to scratch. They just weren't working. I mean, we gather that probably cost around £1 million in wasted wages at that point. But what's interesting with this NAO report is that the fallout from that lack of work, the numbers are absolutely astronomical. So this year, that contract around tax credits fraud was meant to save the Treasury around £285 million, and it's actually saved £500,000. So that is a huge number, absolutely colossal loss in savings that were predicted. The 3-year contract itself is meant to save £1 billion. That's now been revised down to £485 million. So that means that Synex, Concentrix and HMRC have got a hell of a lot of work to do over the next 2 years to get that system working properly. And obviously it's been an abject failure in its first 12 months. So that is a story that we at Accountancy own, and we are going to keep a very close eye on that as that progresses over the coming weeks and months. And that's about it really. The only other thing I'll say is, we've been very, very busy on covering the Accountancy Top 50. We produced our Top 50 website survey 2 weeks ago. International Network Survey is also up on the AA site. So while the Accountancy team lay down in a darkened room somewhere and have a rest, I suggest that you have a look at those stories and inform yourself really, and enjoy it and give us some feedback on those. Right, that's it for me. I'm going to have my pint. It's lunchtime on a Friday. Have a good one. See you next week. Cheers.